To celebrate my 𝐂𝐥𝐢𝐞𝐧 Season 5, I'm about to release an absolute amazing base that you can use on the brand new map releasing today when this video is uploaded. It's at 5 PM EST and I cannot wait to play. Go ahead and download one of 3 bases and get started playing my 𝐂𝐥𝐢𝐞𝐧 today. How's it going, guys? And welcome back for a brand new video. This right here is the first and the last video you need to see if you're making a solo base. Oh boy! Am I excited? Because in today's video, I'm going to release 3 different bases that you are going to need if you want to play my 𝐂𝐥𝐢𝐞𝐧 as a solo player. There is no other solo base that is any better than the ones I'm about to release right now, compared to the amount of time you put into it, obviously. Because I could probably make something together that takes a very long time to raid, but also is, well, let's put it, quite complicated to make. So today, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how to build the hardest possible base with as little time as possible to make it. I'm going to be releasing an easy, medium, and hard base. The easy one takes about 37 claims, which means as well, it's pretty easy, alright? The medium has a 20 chunk buffer, and it's also somewhat hard to raid, but the last one, and the hardest one, is a 20 chunk buffer, 6 regions, pillars, and everything. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get to the world border, and I'll show you exactly how you build this base. Alright, now that we are at the world border, one thing that's absolutely crucial regardless of what base that you've downloaded from the description is actually making sure that you line it up with a chunk. Now, if you don't really care about how much power you're using or how many claims you're using, you don't really have to follow this step, but obviously, if you're a solo player, that's why you're watching this video and you might want to go ahead and follow what I'm doing right now. Now, we're going to be building the hard base since it has most of the stuff on it, but everything that's in the hard base is also on the medium base and the easy base. But alright, let's go ahead and figure this out. So we're gonna go ahead and line the NETHERRACK up here with obviously 1 chunk. And since I'm on a custom client, you see the red right there on my screen, that right there lines out what 1 chunk is. You can do the same by doing F3, and obviously when you go ahead and go F3, you can go for chunk and it says 0 and it goes all the way up to 15. So obviously you just go ahead and mark those lines up right there. 0, 0, 15, 15, 0, 15, and 15, 0, and boom, like a boom, you got a chunk. But alright, there we go, guys. I'm not gonna go into too much of that because everybody should be having chunk butters already. But alright, here we go. So we're going to be building the hard base, and obviously, as I said, everything that's on the hard base is also on the medium base and the easy base. So regardless of what you're downloading and what you're building, you can follow this video and I'll explain absolutely everything that you need to do. Now, the difference between the easy, medium, and hard base is that the easy base only have these 2 regions right here, and 4 of these regions quite close to each other. And since that's somewhat easy to raid, you can go with the medium base instead, where all that's missing is the pillars. So there will be a distance in between these regions that they will have to backstack. And you can even put slabs in between to make it even more annoying. And obviously the hard base has pillars, has 6 regions, 20 chunk buffer, and everything you pretty much need to know about. But alright, let's go ahead and get this built and I'll explain you absolutely everything. The first thing you should do is obviously line it up with 1 chunk, and once you've managed to do that, let's go ahead and claim 1 all the way out. That way you can go in printer mode and well, pretty much do everything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly get all of this claim right here. That shouldn't take a long time at all. And once you've done that, and oh, by the way, this right here is a 256 anti-256, so don't worry about that. I'll explain everything later. But alright, here we go, boys. Now, I cannot strict this enough, boys. It doesn't matter what base design you guys have chosen. I'm gonna do the hard one, and it includes everything that's in the easy and medium as well. But alright, now that we've got everything claimed, do /gen, and let's go ahead and get a sand gen bucket. Go to the corner of the chunk and get that gen all the way up, as we're gonna use that as a guide for when building all the way at 256. Now, move the schematic up to 254. That should leave 1 single sand at the top. So let's go ahead and make sure that that's actually a thing. So let me go and see. There comes the sand and 1 block like that. That is how everything should look like. If it's different on your screen, you're definitely doing something wrong, mate. But alright, once it looks like this, go into printer mode and pretty much just start printing everything in. Now, this NETHERRACK right here is only really to kind of line everything up with a chunk. And good guideline is that every single netherrack on the entire skin, regardless of what base you have, needs to be mined out. But alright, let's go ahead and get this started. So we're going to go ahead and build over right here and pretty much start printing. Now, these anti-1x1s is actually also on your base, regardless of which one you've downloaded. So we're going to do those first. And then we're going to go ahead and do these right here, which are like radiant pillars types of stuff. I don't know what you call them. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do these right here. And then we're going to do this one right here. And that's basically covers what you need to do in the easy base and the medium base. And then obviously we're going to have something at the end right here. All these pillars right here is only for the hard base. You're going to ignore those. You don't really have to worry about those. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you should do is actually going to go ahead and break all this ice right here. Obviously, it will be a good idea to disable printer first. So go ahead and do something like this. There you go. And now you can break the, what's it called, the netherrack in here. So now it should look something like this. Obviously, you can do the same on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. There you go. And now you can break the ice on these right here. And after that, you can break the netherrack underneath. So let's go ahead and do that like this. Once you've done that, you're pretty much ready for the next stage, which is basically go ahead and getting a reaching bucket. So do slash reaching bucket down in the chat, get a reaching bucket. And now go ahead and place the reaching buckets just like this throughout all of these. Turn 160 and do the same on the netherrack. And obviously you need to do this one more time with these over here. So now I'm going to go ahead and actually we forgot to remove the netherrack right here. So we need to go ahead and do that. Yeah, so that's kind of crucial right there. Make sure you remove the netherrack and then we can get ourselves a reaching bucket and now we can finish this off. So let's go ahead and quickly do that. Turn 160 and do the same on the netherrack. That way nothing is going to glitch out. There you go. Next step, go ahead and remove the block behind the water. Now if the water moves, you did something wrong, most likely this block right there. And if it doesn't, then you're good to go. And as you can see, everything is perfect. So now you can remove the sides just like this. And you can do those on every single one, all 4 regions all the way out. If you have the easy base, there's about 1 chunk in between every single of these. If you're using the medium base, you have, well, quite far in between these regions. And obviously the hard one is the one we're doing right now. But all right, here we go. And then you can remove these right there. So now we have these lines of netherracks because we're going to need them in a second. But before anything, make sure that this right here is genned all the way down. So it's genning down right now. And is this one genning down? Yeah, it is. If it's not, you can go and use gen buckets because we actually need to do that right now on these types of regions. So go ahead and get a gen bucket. And now just go ahead and do the cobblestone like this on all 4 regions all the way out, regardless of what base you have. You need to do this right here. Once you've done that, now it's ready for the next step. Go ahead and do slash region bucket right now. And now we can go ahead and actually place the region bucket. First region bucket is right here, so let's go ahead and go all the way out and then click the 2 on the netherrack right here. Skip this one right here and do the exact same on this one over here, just like that. And again, skip one where there's water, just like that. And the last one, go ahead and do it just like that. It should look something like this. And once you're done, you can go ahead and remove the netherrack like this, and then you are good to go. So that's basically how the first region goes, and that's also how the second regions over here should go. So now you know how to make the medium base because all the regions is made like this. All that's left to do now is go to the end because there's something at the end of the buffer that both the easy, medium, and hard base have. But before that, let me go and show you guys the trick. If you have the hard base, do schematic and replace with a big or capital R in replace in one word. Do cobblestone air, and now you don't need to see the cobblestone right here. It's going to make everything a little bit easier. So let me go ahead and remove this right here because we're actually going to be using this for the cobblestone. Actually, it doesn't matter. All right, so here we go. So let me go ahead and go to the end of the buffer right here so I can show you guys exactly what you need to do at the end, because you do need to do that both on the easy base and the medium base, and obviously the hard one as well. And let me go ahead and show you guys what you need to do. All right, so now that we did that command, you cannot see cobblestone. But if you did unload the schematic, and if you loaded it one more time, you can see that we need netherrack or what you call cobblestone right here and also right there. The reason for that is that we're going to be making an anti-256. So go ahead and get an infinity bucket /INF, place the lever just like this, drop the bucket, go into printer mode, break this ice right here, and now if you go ahead and hide the schematic, you can go ahead and break the cobblestone and it should be genning back, or at least the top one here should. The bottom one right here shouldn't be genning back, but this one here should definitely be genning back regardless of what base you have. I also left a little bit of space right here to go ahead and make yourself a sand wall over here if you needed to, just for a check wall. But that's basically how you make the easy base, and that's how you also make the medium base. Now the only difference between these right here is that the hard base has the pillars. Now let me go ahead and take up the schematic again. It's pretty straightforward, boys. It's pretty straightforward. All you need to do is just go ahead and make cobblestone pillars or obsidian pillars in all of these holes right here where there was cobblestone. Once you have done that, all you need to do is just go ahead and break this ice right here, all the way over. And a little trick right here, you can actually place the ice right here, and it's going to start a chain reaction and pretty much water everything. Do be careful about the corners of the pillars though. You want to make sure that those are completely watered, but I'm going to show you that right here in a second. So let's go ahead and break the rest of the ice right here and let all of this water go to the end. Alright, and just like that, all the water is almost at the end, and you need to be careful about these corners right here as that might glitch out. So let's go ahead and make sure that that doesn't happen, and it looks like it actually did happen. So let's go ahead and just place one ice, and there you are. All you need to do now is just pretty much break all the netherrack, and you're pretty much good to go. Once you have watered all your pillars, that's basically all you need to do for the hard base as well. And that's pretty much it, boys. Now you'll learn to make the easy base, the medium base, and the hard base. Obviously, I'm gonna leave timestamps down below, so if you want to go ahead and watch the video one more time, you don't have to watch the entire thing, but only really the part that you need to know about. And now it comes to tips and tricks. So what I want you guys to do now is that I want you to go ahead and go to these regions right here, and all the way at the bottom of these regions, I need you guys to place a few blocks. I'm gonna go ahead and use wool right here, just an example, to make it easier to understand. So in this lava right here, you are going to place a block right there and one right there. That makes people unable to stack right here, which I used to go ahead and trapdoor guide at these regions right here. But by placing these blocks on every single one of these, you're kind of preventing that from happening and making it really hard for them to continue. Now, if you have the easy base and if you have the medium base, instead of the pillars, go ahead and place a ton of slabs at the bottom of your base. And the reason we're doing that is because with these regions, you are required to backstack them to get through them. So making slabs is really annoying for people because they either have to use creeper eggs on them, or then we have to slab bust every single one of them. When you make your base, make sure that you actually make reverse layers in between it. So obviously you're going to have your base. Let's just go ahead and mark that. So it's probably going to go this far down. Let's take that as an example. So now we have the base right here. What you want to do is that if you want to go ahead and make a separate room for whatever you want, go ahead and actually make a different box right underneath and water underneath it so that you have water in between the boxes. That will prevent people from actually getting into multiple boxes at once unless they have a nuke. However, if they do have a nuke, you can actually prevent this from happening as well by just going one in. So let's go ahead and say that the base is this big right here, and now you want to go ahead and actually make one that's one block smaller. So you want to go ahead and make a base which goes right here instead. That way, if you go ahead and nuke the first pillar, so let's go and say this is their sand stack, if you go ahead and nuke this, nothing will happen since this block right here is filled with water, and yeah, this box here won't be hurt. Another tip, and something you should probably already know, is that you need to move the schematic to get walls on the other side. I'm basically making the schematic as small as possible so that every PC can run it, load it, and so on and so on. And the last tip for these pillars right here and basically anything else, there's something called a tray enchant, which allows you to remove netherrack very easy. Go ahead and take a look at that before you start mining everything with your hand, because that could take quite a lot of time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much everything that you need to know about this base. And as I said, every single netherrack on the entire base should not be visible whatsoever. Remove every single goddamn netherrack on the entire base. Just make sure that you finish everything we did previously, because if you start doing other things, it's gonna fuck up, and yeah, you'll have to remove everything. Bottom of the line is, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, and obviously before you do anything, make sure you join your daily dose of Dexter by hitting that bell. Other than that, have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you guys next video.